Okay, so one time I was at work and my boss came in my office and he asked me was I single. I said why. He said just a curious question. I said I'm okay, but yes I am. Ever since then he continued to ask me out on movie nights and all my favorite places. Mind you, IDK how he knows all these things. Most of my coworkers I had lunch with was complaining about him also, and he just kept asking. Next day I went to work. He kept insisting that I give him a hug every day in the morning before clocking in and heading to my office, until he thought it was okay to touch my ass, and I punched him in the chin and proceeded to my office. After work that day I decided to go and talk to the police about it. The next day I came into work, and while I was on the way in, the police, with my boss in handcuffs, was on the way out. Comes to find out that was my boss's twin brother. He was arrested before for sexual assault and he killed my boss, and have been acting like him for a few months.
So basically, some new bitch had moved into my neighborhood. For a while, me and her were really good friends because she lived right next to my house. Eventually, she stopped talking to me. I honestly didn't care that much because she started getting on my nerves. I also found out from other sources that the hoe bag wanted to fight me. But anyways, this crusty dusty musty shusty shaped like a phone, no eyebrows, racist ass homophobic bitch posted a snap of her saying the N-word. Keep in mind she's white. There was no way that crusty bitch was getting away with it. So I leaked her phone number to Twitter. Everyone absolutely ate her up and completely destroyed her. She threatened to file a police report and got so scared she moved out of the state. Anyways, I have no regrets.
Story time. So when I was in 8th grade a girl walked up to me and said I was cute. 8 minutes later she came back up to me and asked if I wanted to go to her house. I said sure. Then she told me she had a boyfriend, and me being the little shit that I am, I said I didn't care. We started making out in her room and her boyfriend came over. He knocked on the door and said her name. I quickly put my shirt on and started acting gay. Right when he walked in I faced the girl and started fake crying. I said, my boyfriend broke up with me yesterday. The girl's boyfriend came up to me and said it's okay bro, then he hugged me. Long story short, I actually turned gay and started dating her boyfriend. When I was like 9, I would go to my parents' bedroom every morning after waking up. So one day, I woke up and went to their room. They never locked the door, so I just opened it and they were doing the nasty. I already knew what it was, so I just said oh sorry and went back to my room traumatized. Like 2 minutes later, my mom came to my room, already dressed, and told me they were really sorry I had to see that and that they forgot to lock the door. One year during school, we had this fine-ass scrumptious apple pie built like a carousel for riding looking assy LA teacher. Everyone liked him, but me, yes me, and only me knew nobody could ever like him as much as I did. I would do the after-school program just to have him teach me, but I didn't want him to teach me ELA. I wanted him to teach me some new tricks. One day, after school, I was being bold and put my hand on his thigh. He decided to put his back butt trace it up to my waist. When I tell you my kitty jar was bouncing up and down, I fucking mean it. He then offered to give me a ride home, but obviously I knew we were about to go to the nearest forest, and you already know. Fuck it up, ha 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 ha. Anyways, after that little quickie session, let me tell you I couldn't walk for about a week. But that's not even the worst part. My ELA man never showed back up to school again. I guess he decided we don't belong together. I've never seen him since. Since you whores loved my last story, here's another one about me and my wonderful brother. I'm not going to say his name because Mateo doesn't like me exposing him. Anyway, when we first moved to our new house, my brother's girlfriend would always come over, which I found hella sus because when we lived in our trailer home she'd never come over. I started noticing things went missing around the house, so I told my brother. He didn't believe me, but he's the only friend I have, so I was determined to catch that ugly ungrateful cocksucking slutty troll. I put cameras in the hallway and caught her stealing some earrings I planted. I showed my brother the video and we decided to get revenge. I invited her over saying my brother had a surprise for her. She believed it. Hehe. Fucking idiot. Anyways, we made a slideshow of all the times she stole something and snatched those gold earrings from her purse. We changed our gate code and never saw her again. This is my personal story. I went on a date with this boy this summer. It was going really well and I was so excited. He took me to play mini golf. He started standing weird as hell, so I was like, the fuck? Are you okay? He said that he couldn't help it and that he was sorry. I realized his rat was showing. I laughed awkwardly and he said that I caused it. I literally was just playing this game. What the fuck do you mean I caused it? He took me to his house and we were sitting there. He whipped out his ugly ass rat. I looked and threw up a little in my mouth. He asked me to give him that got combo 3000. Bitch, get your Chuck E. Cheese hairy rat looking thing away from me before I grab scissors. I can't believe it looked like that. Why was it curved to the left? Bitch, the fuck is that ugly ass shit? Suck it yourself. I said nobody kept persisting. He got really creepy, so I literally ran from him. I turned into Usain Bolt. I said, you wanna see some real speed, bitch? I'll show you some real speed. I got lost in his big ass house, but I eventually made it out. Mans was packing. I can't lie, but I was so disturbed. He just asked me to hang out again. I will not hang out with a man who is turned on from a girl literally just playing golf. The fuck? Go watch Tiger Woods then if you like golf that much, you weird ass boy. No wonder his ex left him. I now identify as lesbian. Like seriously.
Okay, so one time in 7th grade there was this fake-ass snake-ass bitch named Rachel. Rachel was one of those typical fucking mean-ass popular girls. She would always pick on me for having a flat ass, and shit. Well, one day I was talking to my crush and Rachel noticed. I saw that hefty asshole coming and I was like, fuck. Rachel, do not ruin this for me. Turns out that nasty ass bitch liked the same guy I did, let's call him Ethan. That slutty ass bitch dropped something on purpose and tried to show off her box-shaped ass cheeks. Now I am telling you, I don't know how this shit happened, but that bitch got what she deserved. When that bitch bent down, she farted. Not like a little quiet fat no bitch, I mean a big loud smelly ass crusty ass fart. Ethan and I smelled it and she was like, OMG, that was my phone, it's a ringtone. And Ethan was like, oh, so your phone gives off the scent of death. And we both
I was in 5th grade. We were having a Halloween party in our classroom, and our classroom was split in two with a little wall and door, but it was still in the same room. So the other teacher in the other class came over and called my teacher, and she put a movie on and said, I'll be right back. So me and my little friends are wondering what they are doing because he's always calling her out, and then they be gone for 20 to 30 minutes. So we followed them and they went in the staff's room and nobody else was in there, so we were trying to peek through the window, but it was tinted, and one of my friends dared me to open the door and I said no because I was scared, and then they triple dog dared me, so then I just had to do it cause mama ain't raised no bitch. I was really scared and it had been 10 minutes already, but I slowly turned the handle and it was locked, so me and when I was in 7th grade I got into an argument with my teacher and everyone thought I was big and bad, and so did I. A few days later this new girl transferred to our school and we had 3 classes together, and she accidentally stepped on my shoe, so I would always make faces at her and stare her down every time I seen her. She ignored me until one day I told a rumor that her cooter smelled like old milk, and she told everyone she was going to fight me, and I thought she was just talking until she walked up to me while I was waiting for my ride outside and asked did I want to fight. I didn't wanna seem like a punk bitch, so I said yeah. Next thing I know she punched me straight in my face, and before I can even swing back she started rocking my shit. All I knew how to do was pull hair. I only got 2 hits in this strong as bitch Mortal Kombat my shit. Some teacher broke us up and after that I was like, you want some more? And I was praying she didn't say yes cause I couldn't take any more. If this blows up I'll send you the video so you can post it. So in California whenever it gets hot I hate it because then lots of ants show up. So one day it was hot and of course there were ants that were all over in my house that came out of nowhere. So we sprayed them with Raid and they died. So I go to bed and I wake up the next day and I just feel my ass itchy and it just feels weird. So I go into my bathroom and spread my butt cheeks into the bathroom mirror and see lots of ants on my butt and even inside of my asshole. I was so scared because I felt them inside of my butthole and I was embarrassed, but I told my mom to help me get them out, and so she told me I had to bend over. And oh fuck, as soon as I bent over it smelled so fucking bad, I'm not even kidding. It's probably the same smell as Peaches' coochie, so my mom had to wear a mask and gloves, and so when I bent over she put her hands in my butt and pulled them out. Ever since then I have been terrified of ants.
So I had just got back to school from being suspended and everyone was happy to see me except for my teacher, so I came into class. I had a crop top on and I was talking to my friends, so my teacher called me outside of the class. Bitch ass, fat ass, baloney build ass, lonely ass, hot breath ass. Teacher called my mom and asked her if I was on medication or something. Skull deadpan face. Like bitch, I'm straight ho, so I say mom, I'm gonna cuss her out, and my mom said okay sweetie, so I said bitch who TF do you think you were asking if I'm on something? That's why your husband fucked my sister and she's pregnant by him, you fat fuck ugly ass bitch, I hope you fall in a hole and die bitch. And she started crying and I left the class. The bad bitch, I am kissy face heart from anonymous. OMG, I am dead, tears of joy, tears of joy. One time in 6th grade I was walking to my art class and this random guy came up to me and yelled, "Hey best friend," and Lord, I was so confused, but anyway we started talking and walked around the whole school. He pulled me into the girls' restroom and said he was going to ask me out and I needed to say yes for my own protection. We walked out and he asked me out in OFC. I said yes. I later realized there was a really creepy guy following me and I think that's why he did it. We were dating for a year until he just went missing.
Back then I used to be very nice, and I would always add people back on Snapchat until one time out of nowhere I received a snap from Bob John. Let's just say he was old. SMH. Bob John decided to ask my 7-year-old self for a picture of my tits. I obviously had none because I was young. To be honest, I had no idea what tits were back then, so I got up and asked my older sister what the heck tits were. She pointed to her chest, still leaving me in confusion. I asked again and she described them as balls on your chest. So my dumb self went to go grab 2 balls from my ball pit and put them in my shirt and snapped him back. I know you're probably wondering why the fuck a 7-year-old had Snapchat, and let me tell ya, it wasn't my Snapchat, it was my mom's. Haha. He snapped back asking if I wanted to see something I could suck on. I obviously said sure, but before you get mad at my past young self for saying sure, I thought he was talking about a sucker. Moving on. Bob John sent me some weird hairy thing with 2 sagging looking almost circle-shaped balls by it. I looked deep into its soul wondering what the fuck it was. Suddenly my dad walked in with a bowl of pineapple and watermelon with tajin. I set my mom's phone down and looked up smiling, reaching for my fruit bowl. He looked at the phone and saw the picture. He said a bunch of swear words in Spanish and asked me what the fuck I was doing. I said I'm snapping back with Bob John. He looked at me as if I did something wrong. He then asked who the fuck.
When I was in kindergarten there was a boy that I liked and he liked me, and mind you I was like 5 or 6 years old. The boy I liked went up to me and asked me if we can kiss, and at the time I was young and stupid, so I said yes. When it was playground time, we went behind the house and started kissing, but let's just say tongue kissing, and we kept going on until my teacher said my mom is here. I winked at him awkwardly and said bye like a stupid bitch. I went to my mom and I said, "Mom, I kissed a boy." She looked like she was ready to beat my ass. Oh, and by the way, my mom told the whole family. One day when I came home from school to the smell of rotting fish and clam oysters fresh out of the ocean, I saw my stepmom on the couch doing the deed with our neighbor while my dad was still at work. I took out my phone and started recording them before they noticed I was in the house. After I got proof to show my dad, I screamed at her and told her she was a disgusting hoe and that I'm telling my dad. She got up and wrapped a blanket around her fat naked body. That bitch grabbed me by my hair and said that if I tell my dad anything she will ruin my life, and I said, "Bitch, you already ruined my life the day you moved into my house anyways." I twisted her arm, ripped the blanket off of her and showed her the video I took of them. She tried to grab my phone but slipped on her own foot and smacked her teeth on the hardwood floor and broke 4 of her front teeth. That bitch deserved it. I sent the video to my dad, and when he got home he threw all of her shit in the front yard and put her teeth in a plastic bag for her. After that she was. You keep asking for it, so here's another story of me and my brother. Once me and Mateo had the great fucking idea of applying to the same job. We both got the job. We would never take it seriously, and honestly we didn't need the money. We did it because we hated being home. Anyway, we worked at HEB loading groceries for curbside pickups. Me and him always somehow managed to have the same shifts and would just fuck around all day. Well, one day the big boss came in to do inspection. I think I don't even know, and saw me and my brother throwing around onions. They asked us to leave the store. We gave him attitude and said we worked there. He fired us on the spot. On our way out we stole a shit ton of candy and had a movie night with our pets. It was honestly one of the best days ever, up until I threw him in the pool and he got mad at me. His petty ass didn't talk to me for 2 days. I was so lonely I took the dogs and he came over to my room with all my favorite snacks and apologized for ignoring me. I felt bad, so I bought him some new cleats. We're cool now. As I'm speaking, we're eating canes. Life is good. When I was in middle school I ran one of those Instagram accounts that would ship people from the school. Literally everybody followed it and it blew up, and I was getting ships requested 24/7. I would ship myself with my crushes and my friends with theirs, and even all of the staff knew about this account, but nobody knew it was me. People had theories on who it was because they knew the grade I was in, and I was one of the people that was suspected, but nobody ever found out this account Literally caused breakups and fights and tore up friend groups, and the staff even put the account on the morning announcements explaining how it was getting reported daily and the person who runs it needed to come forward, but me being the baddie I am, I never did. Ha 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 ha. Near the end of 8th grade, I was at my best friend at the time's house, and her older sister had some condoms and she asked me if I wanted one as a joke, and we were just playing around with them, and I took one, and when I got home I put it in my backpack to take to school with me to show my friends as a joke. So I did that, and I never took it out of my backpack because I forgot. So the school year was over and it was summer, so a month later I was with my best friend at the time and we were at the movies, and I got a text that made my heart drop. My sister texted me and asked me why there was a condom in my backpack, and Chile, when I tell you my heart dropped to my ass, my dumb ass never cleaned my backpack out, so my mom did and she found the condom, and my sister basically said my mom was gonna beat my ass. So I got scared because I don't even do the nasty. I never even had a boyfriend and my sister knows that, so I told my sister to tell her it was from health class, and later than she convinced my mom. I almost had a heart attack at the movies and me and my friend laughed it off. If it wasn't for my sister, my mom would have ended my life. In 1st grade I was at lunch when I had to fart, so I tried to slowly let it out, but no bitch, I shat my pants and had to ask one of those bald-headed lunch ladies to go to the bathroom. While I was in there I just plopped the poop into the toilet and wiped my panties a little and went on with my day, and we went back to class and I sat by these two boys, one that was my crush in that grade, we'll call him Jack, and one that is sadly my current crush, we'll call him Andy. So Andy said it smells like camel poop and Jack said, oh that's CZ, I have a pet camel, and I really wanted to say bitch shut the fuck up, that's my fucking shit you lying ass whore, but I couldn't because then they would know I shat my pants. When I got home I told my sisters and they started playing that one song that said I thought I had to fart but I really had to dookie. It was traumatizing. So when I was younger I got in trouble a lot. BC my parents fucking hated me and I didn't know why, but looking back at everything I had done in the past I understand everything now and don't care anymore, lol. Anyways, when I was probably 7 or 8 I always would sneak out of my room at night to go pee or get food. BC I was hungry or bored and I didn't have a phone then, so it eventually came to a point where I snuck out every night and my dad sat in the hallways at bedtime to make sure that I didn't sneak out. PS I was extremely scared of my dad back then, lol. So now that my dad was sitting in the hallway at night making sure I didn't leave, I still really had to pee and poop every night. I usually could hold in the pee, but when you have to poop you gotta poop. So I would crawl under my bed and shit under my bed so I wouldn't get in trouble for leaving my bed. One day my mom came in to talk to me and my sister. BC we share a room and she smelled something. She eventually found the source to the horrible smell under my bed and there were like 10 different piles of shits and I got in very big trouble, lol.